Welcome to the 100th episode of Uncovering the Corners of the World podcast. I'm your host, Karina Kasmala, using research and my personal experiences where I actually set foot in some of these places. I'll be describing some of the unknown attractions in both the US and around the world, as well as share some of the hidden landmarks. I mentioned in the first episode of the Route 66 road trip that Route 66 was advertised by the US 66 Highway Association as the shortest, best, and most scenic route from Chicago through St. Louis to Los Angeles. Over the years, Route 66 inspired many movies, songs, and books, such as the 2006 movie Cars, which revolved around the disappearance of Route 66, while a short part of the road was featured in the 1940 film Grapes of Wrath. One of the most iconic songs, Get Your Kicks on Route 66, was written by jazz musician Bobby Troup, who created a lyrical map of the towns that Route 66 passes through. The song gained more popularity after it was sung by Nat King Cole Trio in 1946. Throughout this road trip, we have visited a few of the iconic buildings, bridges, landmarks, and other places worth visiting along Route 66 or that were nearby the main road. This week, we are continuing our journey through California. In Yermo, California, 36600 Ghost Town Road, we explore the buildings of Calico Ghost Town Regional Park in the Mojave Desert. Originally, it was founded in 1881 as an Old West mining town after the discovery of silver in the area. In a little more than a decade, 500 mines were operating in Calico up until the mid-1890s when the silver dried up. Today, the Old West echoes through the restored buildings and mine along the street and tries to emulate the Western atmosphere of the town. Some of the buildings that can be found in the park is a schoolhouse, Calico barber shop and bathhouse display, a jail, and Maggie's Mine, one of Calico's original mines. However, there are also more modern buildings that were added to the town, such as a restaurant and a mystery shack. Visitors can ride a small red train along the Calico and Odessa Railroad to explore the history of Calico and see some of the nearby canyons and mines. Similar to other ghost towns, Calico Ghost Town Regional Park also has a reputation for being haunted. One of the spirits that is said to reside in Calico is Lucy Bell Lane, a resident who owned a general store with her husband in the town. Originally, she lived in Bismarck, next to Calico. She later moved to Calico and married John Robert Lane. Together, they opened a general or grocery store. They moved away in 1899 but returned in 1916 and stayed. John Lane passed away in 1934 and Lucy Lane passed away at the age of 93 in 1967. Her ghost is said to wear a black lace dress and is seen walking from her home to the store or appearing in both buildings, either sitting in a rocking chair in the home or standing behind the counter in the store. Another ghostly occurrence is in the Calico Schoolhouse. The original schoolhouse was built in 1885, but the one that is seen today in Calico is a replica that was built in the 1950s. 30 students were enrolled for a class term based on the Calico School District records. Today, there were many people that have said they saw the spirits of the teachers standing by the windows of the schoolhouse and watching those that walked by the building. The ghost of Tumbleweed Harris, the last marshal of Calico, is also said to have been spotted in town, specifically on the boardwalks on Main Street. Our next stop takes us to Azusa, California, to what was considered the last drive-in theaters west of Oklahoma on Route 66. During the 1950s and 1960s, drive-in theaters gained popularity as more than 4,000 drive-ins opened across the United States. It revolutionized the way audiences could watch movies. Instead of sitting in a dark theater, viewers were able to watch movies on the screen from the comfort of their car. At 675 East Foothill Boulevard, Azusa, California, we find a marquee for a drive-in theater that operated for 40 years and held about 1,500 cars. The Azusa Foothill Drive-In Theater opened on December 18, 1961 along Route 66 with the movies Babes in Toyland and Misty, and closed on December 28, 2001 with the last movies Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and Ocean's 11 lighting up the screen. Today, the bright red and yellow sign was bought by Azusa Pacific University and features the university's campus events and announcements. Our Route 66 journey concludes at the Santa Monica Pier, where the palm trees tower overhead. The cool breeze from the Pacific Ocean cools us while the waves splash against the pier. The Santa Monica Pier is located at 200 Santa Monica Pier in Santa Monica, California. This iconic landmark opened on September 9, 1909. The 1,600-foot-long pier was initially supposed to hide a pipeline that carried sewage to the ocean, a process that stopped in the 1920s. Throughout the course of history, the pier underwent restorations, from concrete piles to creosote-treated wooden piles to then an improved concrete piling and concrete fishing decks, paired with a classic wooden deck. At the front of the pier are clothing and souvenir shops with seafood restaurants, including the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, a restaurant that drew its inspiration from the 1994 movie Forrest Gump. The first movie ever filmed at the pier was the 1914 Charlie Chaplin movie Tilly's Punctured Romance. But since then, the Santa Monica Pier and its beach appeared in numerous movies and TV shows, even if it was for a brief scene or episode, such as in the 1982 movie Rocky III, the 1994 movie Beverly Hills Cops 3, and the 2009 movie Hannah Montana the Movie. Further along the pier is the amusement park Pacific Park, where you can hear the click-clack sounds of the train rushing along the steel tracks and see panoramic views of the beach on top of the 9-story Ferris wheel. Before Pacific Park opened in May 1996, there was a different amusement park and rides that invited visitors. The Loof Pleasure Pier was built in 1916. This park was owned by Charles Loof, a carousel carver who created the carousel Loof Hippodrome and added it to the park. The park was bought by Santa Monica Amusement Company in 1924, but in the 1930s, due to the effects of the Great Depression, most of the park disappeared. In the late 1940s, a new owner, Walter Newcomb, replaced the Loof Hippodrome carousel with a new one. At the very center of the pier is a trail sign that marks the unofficial end of Route 66. Originally, the route ended in downtown Los Angeles, California, at 7th Street and Broadway up until 1936, when the route was realigned and the end of the road was now at Olympic Boulevard and Lincoln Boulevard. A man by the name Dan Rice, who claimed to have traveled more than 25 times on Route 66, found the end point of Route 66 disappointing. So in 2009, he opened a 6x3-foot vendor cart on the Santa Monica Pier, where he sold products, signs, and t-shirts with the logo "End of the Trail." As the products grew in popularity, the logo was turned into a sign that concluded the unofficial end of Route 66 on the Santa Monica Pier. Thank you for listening to the 100th episode of Uncovering the Corners of the World podcast. If you want to learn more about Calico Ghost Town, visit the website parks.sbcounty.gov and read the article From Boom to Bust and Back Again, The Evolution of Calico Ghost Town by Amy. To read more about the haunted places of Calico, visit the website Haunted Rooms Company Ghosts of Calico Ghost Town. To read about Lucy Bell Lane and the schoolhouse, visit the Historical Marker Database website. To read more about Azusa Foothill Drive-In, check out the website zunews.com to read the article ZU Magazine, The Death of the Drive-In by Cheyenne Jimenez, and the website cinematreasures.org. To learn more about Santa Monica Pier, be sure to visit the websites santamonicapier.org, pacpark.com, and 662cali.com. Have a great week.